On the table today at Squirrel Stampede, we have the Mutants. The Mutants of Mutant Mayhem, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles on the table. Last time we checked the Turtles, this time we checked the Mutants. We've got Superfly, Bebop, Rocksteady, and Leatherhead, all looking spectacular. Just got back from a trip from New York City. Pretty exciting as they had Turtles, Mutant Mayhem plastered all over town. There were billboards, screens, and even Leo and Donnie came with me on the trip. They got to look out the window, but everywhere you looked there was Turtles, so that was pretty cool. And then the toy show we went to, which you will all see at Squirrel Stampede's Summer Vacation Part 2 coming up here if I can somehow compile all these videos I took. But the toy show, we got to see special look at Playmates Toys, Turtles, Mutant Mania line with Raph and Mikey there showing off the table full of upcoming stuff like the sewer layer and a turtle van and a few other mutants and larger scale turtles. Lots of amazing things for Mutant Mania. So for the first run mutants are on the table here. We'll check them out, see if they can fly.
Fly? I want to fly. Give me those wings, Fly Guy.
Squirrel Stampede.
And so there, Superfly, or Fly Guy, on the table. Now before I kind of mentioned the oversized arm was kind of bothering, but I guess that's specific to character. In watching trailers and promos, he's got a big arm. Over on the back, I think we even read this bio before, but we'll go again as this is your main baddie of the show. Superfly, a highly intelligent humanoid fly. Superfly has lived in hiding his entire life, slowly amassing power in the criminal underworld. He's clever, charismatic, and confident, and behind those eyes lies a sinister plan that is unlike anything the Turtles have ever faced before. Mutant Menace Meter 5 cars.
Huh?
Are those like police cars or something? It kind of feels more like an X-Men plot than a Turtles plot. What say shall we say get Superfly out of pack? And out. Some assembly required. I'm actually surprised he's standing on those back feet of his. They're so thin compared to his upper body. You'd think those spindly knees would give on out. Let's install his fly wings. We've got a couple pieces here. How are they gonna go in? Fly wings up. No, fly wings rounded down. No, maybe fly wings up, down? There's gotta be only one way to do this. Booyakasha, got it. So yeah, now with even more weight onto this figure, still holding up pretty well, those spindly little legs. Maybe it's just because they've got good reach. The front little fork feet and then the little back spikes give it enough of a footprint, even though it looks really small. Superfly though, looking pretty good, pretty menacing. I know one part of these figures that people are crying, maybe scale is a little bit all the same. You can't really show menacing through scale. It would be nice to see, say, the main villain just a little bit larger, but he's about the same head height of some of these turtles. Well, Mikey's looking a little short. Perhaps I should have chose Raph here. So yeah, the scaling of your Superfly is pretty much about the size or a little bit smaller sometimes than the turtles, but whatever, it's cool. Detail looking good. I think that's been the strength of this series so far, is the details looking very familiar, looking just what we've seen on screen almost for the most part. Playmates Toys doing a good job with their sculpts from the movie. 4 wings on the back and good bluish flyish color. Is this guy Baxter Stockman? I don't know yet. We don't know. Or do we know? Where is the articulation going with this figure? So head rotation up top, and we can even hinge up a little bit. So some nice movement there on his head. Shoulders that rotate and reach out. Elbow here. And that's about it on the tiny arm. You can rotate that elbow too. Giant claw arm, which will be pretty fun to play with, I'll have to admit. Rotation there, reach out. Another point here. Nope, it looked like there was a point midway, but there is a point at the wrist. So there's not really an elbow in there, it's just too thick. And what do we have for those tiny T-Rexian arms down here by the lower torso? I believe they're glued in or something. Yeah, I see a little bit of glue marking on there, so they're not They're not able to move. You can kind of bend them a little bit, but I don't want to cause too much stress there. Hips, we have hinging and the ability to rotate out, and there are knees in there too. And so we can try to stand back down now. Whoa. I almost wonder if you could use the giant claw arm as an extra leg, but that doesn't seem to be working because of the unbalancedness of it. Okay, get you back up here, buddy. There. So back to this awesome fly arm claw thing. Does it fit a turtle's head?
Nothing fits Mikey's head.
Well, let's see about that. Yeah, so the turtle heads won't really fit this claw, but you could definitely grab someone's arm and fling them around.
You call that a fling? Okay, that's a fling.
So for a fly guy, pretty articulated, and we have a open weapon here. Some sort of laser pistol weapon, or maybe neogenic recombinator, could you say? And of course a weapon snap-out sheet. That's so old school and old Playmates Toys kind of way. Fun that they're still going with that angle. Okay, so this right here looks like some science vials in a lab setting and then a beaker overflowing. This may be a fly swatter. I don't know why a fly guy would have his own fly swatter. And then maybe either another weapon or drill. Could be a shop drill or something. But you can snap those out, and I believe sometimes in the past you can even use these as display stands. But not exactly here because there's no holes in Superfly's legs. I kind of like him though. He's growing on me. He's flying on me. I think the key to the mutants of this movie collection will be getting several, then placing them together, and I think they'll start to really pop. By themselves, they're kind of just bleh. But a few more should really make things pretty interesting. So let's take a look at Rocksteady. Haven't seen Rocksteady out of pack yet. We can hold off on Bebop as we saw before. We'll see again, but let's start with Rocksteady. And before I was saying I wasn't too sure about Rocksteady's body, but I think it's growing on me quite a bit too. It takes a little while sometimes to get adjusted to new looks. They've certainly got his classic mostly body look right. It's just that giant head over onto the shoulder hunchback thing there, but that is pretty much how a rhino would look like, right? If a rhino guy was like real. Back of the box.
Rocksteady built like a tank. Rocksteady is pure mutant muscle. Whether it's from his fists or his horn, you do not want to take a hit from this guy. He and Bebop make a dangerous duo, but their brains are what some may consider small, even for morons.
Only 3 Mutant Menace cards. What? And I love backup box specific bio cards. Let's get Rocksteady out. Well, scale-wise, he's so big that they had to leave an arm off in package. That's good news, so let's snap on his arm. Easy. Easy. Whew, that's tight. Go off screen with that. There we go. That was a tight fit. I hope I did it right. So Rocksteady, the Rhino Mutant, out. Look at this giant head. From certain angles, it's just ridiculous. Absolutely an enormous reach from that head. Horn on out. But like a rhino, I mean, really, this feels like some sort of crazy mutant you would see in a collection of super exaggerated mutants. He still has some classic like Rocksteady detail. I'm glad they stuck with that. You can see the camo pants and tank top. And here bringing out one of my old, well, this is actually a reissue old classic vintage. And so they've done some things to keep the characters still looking like what they would kind of look like in the past. Just so much with more enormous head size. Articulation with this one, head rotation, is there anything in there? Oh, I did not expect that. It's a side-to-side rotation thing. Probably only maybe 90 degrees at most. Going that way, and then that way, about 90 degrees. I, for some reason, thought he was going to rotate all the way upside down, which would make no sense. That's actually really nicely figured out. We've got shoulders, pins that rotate out, and elbows are in there for thick figure. That always is nice. Rotating wrists, so both sides with that. Hips, he can kind of sit down. He's so big, right on those hips, that his belly kind of goes over, which is pretty funny and cool looking. We've even got some knees and no ankles, but I think that is actually really plenty for some fun with this one. We've got our classic Rocksteady weaponry here. He's got a lot of good stuff actually on this punch-out sheet. I've got another rifle-like weapon. A little tight there. Another nice little laser, more laser-like. This one's more weaponry-like. And then we've got a really nice looking sledgehammer. I like that. That's a cool accessory piece. And then, oh, okay, we have our classic Rocksteady sewer cover shield. Let me get some of the kibble off this thing. It's all full of junk. Use an X-Acto blade with practice and you can cut those off. And one more here, a Rocksteady knife. Sometimes you gotta just work these back and forth a little bit, loosen them before you really start yanking. And need to clean that one up too. Got my old school X-Acto knife here, which I just finally bought new blades for and I have not installed yet. I gotta do that. Got to do that. Alright, so plenty of cool weaponry for Rocksteady, and again, maybe a display base. Then his feet holes are way huge. These things are small. I guess it's a rarity that that works that way. So most likely, classically weighs, he's got a cool laser weapon, and that is super tight fitting at the moment. I gotta loosen up his grip. And his sewer cover lid there, which I'll say is a little bit small. But a lot of cool accessories for this guy. I'll let the otters test that out. So I'm enjoying Rocksteady more and more, especially adding onto these weapons, especially after now playing around with this guy's head. Add him to the group of Fly Guy, and he's looking pretty cool. So now I want to revisit Bebop again. I really, really like Bebop. He's my favorite mutant in this series. Typically Rocksteady would have been, but I think they did Bebop better, and so I'm liking Bebop over Rocksteady this time. These new turtles are flying off the shelves where I'm from. It's crazy, and so I went back yesterday looking for another mutant or something, and all they had was this Bebop, this only very Bebop on shelf. So it kind of called out to me and said, okay, definitely pick up a regular Bebop. We saw one in the Ooze Cruisin' Figures van, and I just wanted to see Bebop unoozed. Bebop. Bebop may be a jacked up warthog mutant, but he likes to roll in style. He's always sporting some killer shades and is never too far from a boombox. Mutant Menace Manometer, only 3 cop cars. Alright, let's see this Bebop out of pack. Bebop out of pack! And it's cool to see cleaned up. How's it going cleaned up, Ooze Bebop? With drill, classic drill weapon. And one of the other bonuses of picking up just a basic figure pack is we have all these extra weapons of Bebop we just did not see from before. Ooze Cruisin' Van did not come with these. What do we have here? A really nice looking knife. This knife, much larger than what Rocksteady had. So better knife. And, oh, another shell weaponry. This looks like, doesn't really look like a sewer lid. It looks more like a shell. Maybe a turtle shell, or I don't know what that could be. It looks 3D printed. And a mace and another, a miniature drill. He's got a smaller drill weaponry thing. And a stick with a spiral swirl on it. Can't remember if these are specific to his old character. They probably are. But it's nice to have a few extra weapon choices. So Bebop, I liked how Bebop looked. I think I like the pink puffy fur on his melon head, the purple visor, classic turtle shell shoulder pads, and some pretty cool sneakers. Articulation also well done with this one. Head rotation at the center, swinging about. Shoulders under those turtle shell shoulders, but looking good. Wrists that rotate, giant gut, nothing there, but there's hips and knees. So lots of stuff going on with Bebop. And let's bring back our Ooze Cruisin' Bebop to compare. Here's Ooze Cruisin' Bebop. I don't know now. Now I'm starting to like Ooze Cruisin' Bebop because that bright green really brought out this figure even more. The detail feels a little flat with this one. He still has that wow chest tattoo. But, you know, I don't know. This is a tough call. I like them both so much. That's why I kind of went and had to get another one. They're so cool. He really feels like Bebop more so than Rocksteady. So, yeah, that's what you're going to get. You can pick either one. You're probably more likely going to run into a single carded figure pack than the Ooze Cruisin' line. I think those already flew off the shelves. At least where I'm from. Or not. Maybe we'll see bulks of those everywhere. Keep an eye out. That's Bebop. And that brings us to the last mutant mania of the day. It is Leatherhead. Leatherhead is here. I think Leatherhead rounds out the 4 starter mutants of this series from Playmates Toys. As I said from last time, I never had a vintage Leatherhead, but right now timed pretty well. You can get that vintage Leatherhead out there too right now. Ragin' Cajun Gator. I like the look so far. I like that he's standing on 2s. Leatherhead is proud to be a mutant and all in on Superfly's plan to make more of them.
They're down for causing destruction and mayhem, especially if it means getting to make a few big Boombas.
Mutant Menace, also 3 cars. Are those cars? What are those?
Oh, they're not cars, they're mutant ooze containers.
Yeah.
That makes way more sense. I'm like, oh, why would cars be a menace meter other than like cop cars chasing them down? I just, that was funny.
No.
I figured it out, I'm slow. So let's see Leatherhead out. Really curious of this one. Whoa, he's out. Okay, Leatherhead out. Just now maybe my favorite mutant of this series. This is epically awesome. We've got a gator with a hat on 2s, tail tucked between on the out, pack on back for sawed-off shotgun. Just all around Bayou character here, great looking. Got this classic weapons sheet too, that color feels very classic. Detailing is good, lots of color. Got a kind of orangish hat up top with spikes. Bright, bright yellow vest coat. There's little details that help these guys stand out so well. And plastic waders for splashing around in the swamp. As for articulation, we've got head rotation. And I believe there's a hinge back there too. I don't really know which way this head's moving, but it's all in good. It's moving good, so I enjoy that. Shoulders that pin and rotate out. Elbows, got some elbows. Even some wrists. That's pretty good. We also have waist rotation under that belt. And hips and knees. And a tail! He came packed with his tail kind of like that, I think. You can just flip that back around. So, plenty there for Leatherhead to approach with. They've done really well jointing every figure this time. So I'm really liking this one quite a bit. He is fun. Let's see some of their weapon sheets here. That's so tight. Let's pull off screen. I've got some sort of Bayou shotter. Got another knife. I'll clean these up a little later. Got to get all the little tabs off. A foot trap for turtles. Ouch. And what I think looks to be, I think that's a fishing pole. He's got a fishing pole weapon. Very odd. So really cool work with Leatherhead. I like this guy. The gun pack too on the back for weapon storage. Also an extra plus there. His hands feel a little bit undersized for it, but he's gonna hold on to it pretty well. So Leatherhead, not to be missed. I think that's a really cool looking mutant. And since I've never really seen a vintage Leatherhead, got a lot of weapons here, let's just clean this up a little bit. Here's what an old school Playmates Leatherhead would look like. He's on all fours, he still comes with that trap and shotgun weapon, so they've really gone with classics. Oh, he's got such a giant bio on here. And a lot to say about Portrait of Leatherhead, Swamp Stompin' Ragin' Cajun Gator, Vital Gatoristics, Weapons, Turtle Trap, Swamp Gun, Jumbo Gumbo Belt, Birthplace, Florida, Neverglades. Height, 12'4". Guy's huge. Weight, 871 pounds. It's enormous. Favorite song, Swamp Stomp, Old Man Gator. Favorite food, Cajun Spiced Twiddle. While scum-sucking through the green, slimy depths of a rank Florida swamp, a garden variety gator swam through a streak of orange mutagen. Faster than Snap, Crackle, and Crunch, this grinning gator mutated into Leatherhead, the biggest, meanest reptile ever to hit the amphibious circuit. Ripping with super mutant strength and swimming ability, Leatherhead enjoys just a pinch of turtle between his teeth and gum for true chewing satisfaction. This garbage can gourmet fills his gullet by strapping turtles, tenderizing them with a blast of his swamp gun, and mixing in a bag of red-hot Cajun spices. Leatherhead is the undisputed king of the swamp, and could be the next sultan of the sewer when Shredder drafts him into the dreaded Foot Clan. Wow, did they pack bio cards with so much cool information in the 80s, 90s. I mean, these old classic cards were just full of info. Look at the tiny print there, the evolution of the turtles, how the boy's turtle bowl falls in the sewer onto Splinter. Shredder throws some ooze down there, the turtles grow into full-blown Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Splinter then teaches them ninjutsu. I probably should take the time to pick up a new foot soldier. I think there's something wrong with my old vintage foot soldier. He's falling apart. We've got the old turtle shell storage system shell collection out right now. If you can look around, I usually see them at Target. And I also have seen old school Shredder and Krang. All of these guys, Bebop, Rocksteady, back and about. Fun to see the vintage. So let's see a vintage versus new really quick. Look at the card art too before I smash this. Look at this. We've got all these great images everywhere. Raph is getting crunched on the foot. Oh, this is just too perfect. I hate to do this, but I will. And out Leatherhead, old school. So they did an awesome job modernizing Leatherhead. Leatherhead on 4s here, and just feels small because of that. He just feels tiny. This guy feels like the height really adds to him. The tail sticking out gives him a good reach of a figure for tripping too. This one just doesn't look very villainous, although I think we have an actual working trap with this one. That is pretty nice. A working trap, and his same boom buster, what did they call it? Yeah, just simple swamp gun on that. But down pretty short. Still though, pretty fun. Let's get a little closer. I'll be curious to say what you guys say in the comments if you like vintage or new better. I really like new, but you know, vintage certainly has its own style of the past. Great texture, scaly texture there. Head opens and closes. Ah! Not very far there. There's a little bit of posts there. Luckily, it's not a destructive thing when that happens. I think they probably did that on purpose, thinking, oh yeah, every kid's gonna put, you know, a mutant's arm in there, and it's just gonna need to be opened. Rotation at the shoulder point, no articulation in those rest of the arms, and those arms are got that cool pointy finger. They're just kind of there to stabilize those feet. You can kind of hunch him up a little higher. Okay, we can hunch him up a little bit. So now he's standing a little bit better. Pretty bright vest as well there, yellow vest and blue jeans, and I think we should be able to jam this weapon into his pack. Might take a minute. Oh, just right in. Gosh, that's actually a really quite cool figure. And again, a lot of the figures back in the day were hunched down low just so that they would match the height of the low down turtle. So look at Donnie there giving Leatherhead a nice swipe of his bow staff.
And that's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem on the table. Mutants looking good. What do you think? What's your favorite mutant today? Too much, too little? Let's talk about that. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked today's video, please give us a squike, squirrelibe, squammet, anything you would like. Thank you for watching again. That's what I have to say about that.